So I want to turn now, Justice, to now that we understand your contributions on the bench and how you move through the system. So to our young listeners, or really some of our listeners who are more experienced in life, like I like to consider you and me, more experienced in life, what lessons do you have for them for success, to being successful as an advocate, or perhaps being successful as a magistrate or a judge? What lessons? I know your father said hard work. What are some of the other lessons that you've learned along the way that you could share with us?
One of the lessons that I have learned is that never give up. There'll always be, and if you don't give up, you will have another opportunity. But if you give up, then you'll never have another opportunity. And actually, that's what happened to me. I didn't give up, and so I had another opportunity. But I've also learned that it's not an easy life. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy life because especially being a magistrate means a lot of hard work. It means a lot of sacrifices. And you need support. And I can say that I've had a lot of support, especially from my husband on the family front. When I was much younger with young kids, and I have to go and work in Nakuru, I have to go and work in Mombasa, my husband stepped in. In fact, on the very first time when I took the job, now this second time when I was offered the job as a magistrate, I had to move from Mombasa, where I was then staying with my husband, and my husband was working in Mombasa. I had to move to Nairobi, where I was offered the job. So I had to come to Nairobi and work in Nairobi. He was in Mombasa with the children until I was able to move the children to Nairobi. And then with time, he also moved to Nairobi. So you need support. You need somebody very understanding, who will be able to appreciate your work and who will be your cheerleader, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I think my husband has been my cheerleader.
My husband's been my cheerleader too. I couldn't have done it without my husband, because I went on like you. I mean, my youngest was not a year and our oldest was a little over 2. And he's been there in my corner the whole time, like your husband. It's a blessing, isn't it, Justice?
It's a great blessing, a great blessing. The other thing is that you need to have a champion, a male champion behind you. And for me, I think probably I would be I would have probably maybe reached the Court of Appeal much sooner than I did if I had a male champion maybe holding my hand and steering me on, but I didn't have that. And I think I have missed out also because of that. I have missed out certain opportunities because of that. So it's important to have mentors. It's important to have mentors, both male and female, and to walk along with them. That is very, very important. And I think for me, maybe I missed out on that. And I'm only realizing now that is very crucial. And as a result, I've also tried to mentor some young girls. I've been on school boards, and I talk to them and I try to mentor them. I encourage them, those who are interested in law, I tell them what it's all about. And I'm happy that even on the family side, I have 3 nieces who have done law, and 2 nephews who have also done law. So I think that is an indication of the kind of influence that one can have on the younger people.
So you were not satisfied to be the first, because you were first in so many areas, Justice. You don't want to be the last. You see it as part of your, do you see this as part of your obligation as part of a responsibility to be that mentor when, especially since you didn't have that?
Certainly, it is my obligation and my responsibility. I am only charting the way for others to follow. So it is my responsibility to encourage them and to show them and to help them navigate and avoid the kind of pitfalls and problems that I encountered.
And despite the pitfalls and problems, and you said you didn't really feel like you had a mentor throughout your career, there were other hands that were extended to you, right? That understood your talent?
Yes.
Both men
I
and
think
women?
so.
Both men and women?
I would say men and women, but mainly men.
Mainly men, because of the time you grew up like me.
Yes.
And the other thing we talk about mentors, isn't it also important, Justice, networking as a younger lawyer, as a young person, getting to know, just like you sitting in the courts, getting to know people, and also trying to identify mentors who can be sponsors, who may have some power, you know, some power to do something. So you need those that support you and encourage you and are there to hold your hand when you fall. But isn't it also important to think about those that can help you strategize and have the ability to move you forward?
That is very important. I think I had the disadvantage of coming from a very humble background. And because of that, the sponsors, the people who could really hold my hand were few. It's only when I now started coming up and developing a career that and distinguishing myself within the career that now people started having an interest. But before that, you know, I really can't say I had many people who had really interest.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a tough journey for you.
Of course.
Let me ask you this. So what, Justice, sort of, we've talked about really, you know, I could talk to you for days, but we've talked about, I hope, given a picture of your humble beginnings and where you are now and what your journey was. What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to say about Justice Okwengu? What she did, what she contributed?
I think, first of all, within the judiciary, as of now, I can say that I considered myself as a beacon of hope for the magistracy. Because before, it used to be you are employed as a magistrate, you work as a magistrate, you retire as a magistrate. There were very few who went up to even become judges. Unless, of course, you had the sponsors who were holding your hand. But for me, I think I came out and the magistrates were encouraged to know that one could just rise up by sheer hard work. So that was a beacon of hope for them. Of course, things have now changed in Kenya. There is the appointment processes is much more transparent. There is a merit recruitment system. So people have more opportunities now. But at that time, it was not like that. But going forward, I would want to be remembered as that judge who did not shy away from her responsibilities. I am a person who is very focused in what I am doing and passionate in whatever I am doing. And sometimes because of that, when, you know, I'm also very passionate about processes. And sometimes when you focus on discipline and process, people tend to be resistant, especially the younger generation. And because of that, some people think I am very harsh, I'm very temperamental. But I think it's just because of the passion. I want the best in everything. So if you're coming to my court, be prepared so that you come and give me your best. And I think that kind of reputation, I created that kind of reputation. And advocates, I know I have some advocates who are now they have become judges. And I remember one telling me how whenever they were coming to my court, they had to make sure that they have prepared well and that they knew their stuff, because otherwise they knew they would be in trouble. So I want that kind of encouragement to the younger generation, that you can only excel by putting in your best foot forward. And you should not shy away, even when other people are not doing the right thing. You should not shy away from doing the right thing. You should just be persistent in whatever you are doing so that you can come out.
And I also noticed, Justice, and that, thank you for that answer, that was just, says it all about you and who you are. You have never forgotten your humble beginnings. So is that too something really important that you've tried to carry with you? You know, that sort of, but for the grace of God. You could be in the fields, you could be farming, you could be serving tea, you could be, and though that's all good, honest work. It's good, honest work. But you could be doing that, but for the grace of God.
That is true. That is true. And I'm thinking that, I'm thinking seriously that one of the things I should do when I retire is to use my talents, my knowledge in the legal field, to see how to help, especially the women and children in the village. We have so many of them that have legal issues that they don't even know where to begin. So I think I would be able to help these people if I utilized my talents and opened my doors for people to come. Because I don't think I would want to start a practice, but I could use my talents to help such people who really need help and cannot afford to pay for it.
Well, thank you so much, Justice. I mean, a beacon of hope, you surely are. A beacon of justice, a beacon of passion, a beacon of courage and persistence, to not sway from the cause, to keep your mind focused, to focus on hard work, and to never give up. I thank you so much, Justice, for sharing your thoughts with us, and look forward to seeing you again in Kenya, and look forward to all the incredible work you will continue to do, the work you do for equal justice and to bring justice to Kenya. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Judge Williams. I'm very glad to see you today. And it has been a very interesting discussion. You've helped me to remember the good old days and to remember where I have come from, and also to rekindle in me the passion and the need for me to do something, particularly in the future, to give back to the community. I feel like I have not given enough. I need to do more. And I'm very, very grateful. I thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. And thank you to the Institute for African Women in Law for the opportunity.